Have you ever wondered what happens when the person who breaks your heart ends up needing you more than you ever needed them? Imagine standing at the altar, family and friends smiling, the wedding music playing, your future just seconds away, and then the groom never shows up. No phone call, no explanation, no goodbye, just silence. Most people would spend years trying to recover from a betrayal like that. But one woman chose a different path. Instead of revenge, she chose success. And 7 years later, fate delivered something nobody saw coming. The man who abandoned her on the biggest day of her life walked into an office interview, only to discover that the woman he left behind was now the executive deciding his future. Stay until the end, because what happened next shocked everyone in the room. And trust me, the ending is not what you're expecting. 7 years earlier, Emma Carter believed she had found her forever person. She met Ryan Mitchell during her final year of college. He was charming, confident, funny, the kind of guy who could make an entire room laugh without even trying. Emma was different, quiet, focused, ambitious. She wasn't the loudest person in the room, but she had something Ryan admired: determination. Together, they seemed perfect. Friends envied them, families approved. Everyone assumed they would get married eventually. After 4 years together, Ryan proposed during a beach vacation in California. Emma cried, Ryan cried, even strangers nearby applauded. For Emma, it felt like the beginning of the life she had always dreamed about: a loving husband, a happy family, a future built together. The wedding was scheduled for the following spring. Everything was ready: the venue, the flowers, the guests, the dress. Thousands of dollars had been spent, months of planning completed. The countdown had begun. But while Emma was planning a future, Ryan was secretly questioning everything. Wedding day, the church was beautiful. Sunlight streamed through the stained glass windows. Guests filled the pews. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement. Emma stood in a private room wearing her wedding dress. She looked radiant, nervous, happy, hopeful. Her father knocked gently on the door. Ready? She smiled. More than ready. The music began. Guests stood. Everyone turned toward the entrance. But something felt wrong. Whispers started spreading. The groom wasn't there. 5 minutes passed, then 10, then 20. Ryan's best man kept checking his phone. The wedding coordinator looked worried. Emma's smile slowly disappeared. 30 minutes later, Ryan's brother approached her. His face was pale. He looked like someone carrying terrible news. Emma, she immediately felt her stomach drop. What happened? The brother hesitated, then finally spoke. Ryan's gone. What do you mean gone? He left. The room became silent. Emma stared at him, waiting for the rest of the sentence. It never came. Ryan had disappeared. No explanation, no note, no apology, nothing, just gone. The guests slowly left. The flowers remained. The cake remained. The decorations remained. But the future Emma had imagined disappeared that day. And in front of everyone she knew. Pause for a second. Imagine experiencing the most humiliating moment of your life, in front of hundreds of people. Now imagine what happens when the entire town starts talking about it. Because that's exactly what happened next. News spread fast. Friends called. Relatives asked questions. Social media exploded with rumors. Some people felt sorry for Emma. Others speculated endlessly. Did Ryan cheat? Did they fight? Did something happen? Nobody knew, not even Emma. For weeks she barely left her apartment. Every notification felt painful. Every message reopened the wound. The hardest part wasn't losing Ryan. It was not understanding why. Humans can survive almost anything. But uncertainty can destroy you. Months passed. Emma waited for an explanation. None came. Ryan vanished completely. Eventually she learned he had moved across the country. No contact, no closure, nothing. For a long time she blamed herself. Maybe she wasn't enough. Maybe she missed warning signs. Maybe she did something wrong. But then one night she looked in the mirror and asked herself a question that changed everything. What if this isn't the end of my story? That single question changed her life. Most people think success begins with motivation. It doesn't. Success begins with a decision. Emma decided she would stop waiting, stop wondering, stop replaying the past. Instead, she focused on herself. She enrolled in business courses, worked overtime, read leadership books, built new skills. Every painful memory became fuel. Every tear became determination. While others spent weekends relaxing, Emma was building a future. Years passed. Promotions followed. Then bigger opportunities arrived. People noticed her work ethic, her intelligence, her leadership. She wasn't chasing revenge. She was chasing growth. And ironically, that's what made her unstoppable. By age 34, Emma had become one of the youngest senior executives at a rapidly growing technology company. Her salary had multiplied. Her confidence had returned. Most importantly, she no longer thought about Ryan, at least not often. Life had finally moved forward, or so she thought, because fate wasn't finished yet. While Emma's career was rising, Ryan's life was moving in the opposite direction. After leaving the wedding, he chased freedom. At least that's what he called it. He traveled, changed jobs repeatedly, avoided commitment, ignored responsibility. At first, it felt exciting. No obligations, no expectations, no pressure. But freedom without direction eventually becomes chaos. Years passed. Friends got married, built families, advanced their careers. Ryan drifted. One poor decision led to another. Relationships failed. Jobs disappeared. Savings evaporated. The confidence he once carried slowly faded. By the 7th year, Ryan desperately needed a fresh start. He heard about an executive position at a fast-growing company. The pay was excellent. The opportunity was life-changing. He prepared carefully, updated his resume, practiced interview questions, bought a new suit. For the first time in years, he felt hopeful. He had no idea who would be conducting the final interview. And if he had known, he probably would have stayed home. The morning arrived. Ryan entered the company's headquarters. The building was impressive, modern, professional, successful, exactly where he wanted to work. The receptionist greeted him. He signed in, waited nervously. A manager escorted him toward a conference room. Ryan adjusted his tie, took a deep breath, prepared his introduction. The door opened. He stepped inside and froze. Sitting at the head of the table was Emma, the woman he abandoned, the woman he hadn't seen in 7 years, the woman whose wedding he destroyed, and now, his potential boss. For several seconds, nobody spoke. Ryan's face lost all color. Emma looked equally shocked, but unlike Ryan, she remained composed, professional, calm, powerful. The balance of power had completely reversed. The man who once held her future in his hands now stood waiting for her approval. Life can be incredibly unpredictable. Ryan finally found his voice. Emma, she nodded politely. Ryan. The other interview panel members sensed the tension immediately. They exchanged confused looks. Clearly, there was history here. Emma remained professional. Let's begin. The interview started. Ryan answered questions, presented ideas, explained his experience, but everyone could see he was nervous. Emma listened carefully, not as an ex-Yankee, not as a victim, as an executive, as a leader, as someone responsible for making the right business decision. After 40 minutes, the formal interview ended. The other panel members left. Only Emma and Ryan remained. Silence filled the room. Finally, Ryan spoke. I owe you an apology. Emma said nothing. He continued. I should have apologized years ago. His voice shook. What I did was unforgivable. For the first time in 7 years, Emma finally received the explanation she had waited for. Ryan admitted he had panicked. He felt unprepared for marriage, unprepared for commitment, unprepared for adulthood. Instead of communicating honestly, he ran. The coward's choice, the decision that hurt everyone, especially Emma. He lowered his head. I'm sorry. The words hung in the air. 7 years late, but finally spoken. Many people think revenge is watching someone suffer, but true victory is something else entirely. It's reaching a point where the person who hurt you no longer controls your emotions. Emma realized something important in that moment. She no longer needed closure. She no longer needed validation. She no longer needed Ryan. The pain had transformed her. The heartbreak had strengthened her. The rejection had redirected her life toward opportunities she never imagined. Ryan's apology mattered, but it wasn't necessary anymore. She had already healed, and healing gave her something more powerful than revenge. Peace. Emma smiled gently. Then she said something Ryan would never forget. If you had shown up that day, neither of us would be sitting in this room. Ryan looked confused. Emma continued, "For years I thought losing you was the worst thing that could happen to me." She paused. "But it forced me to become someone stronger." The room fell silent. Ryan understood. She wasn't speaking from anger. She was speaking from growth. So what happened next? Did Emma hire him? Did she reject him? Did she get revenge? The answer surprised everyone. Emma reviewed his qualifications objectively. She considered his experience, his skills, his potential value to the company. Then she made her decision, not based on the past, based on merit. Ryan received the job, not because Emma felt sorry for him, not because she still loved him, and certainly not because she forgot what happened. He received the job because he earned it professionally. That decision demonstrated something extraordinary. Emma had become the kind of leader who separated personal emotions from professional responsibility. And that level of maturity is rare, very rare. Ryan accepted the position, but working under Emma taught him a lesson every single day. Success isn't about escaping consequences, it's about facing them. And for Ryan, every meeting was a reminder of the person he once failed to become. There are 3 powerful lessons in this story. First, someone else's rejection does not determine your worth. When people leave, cheat, abandon, or disappoint you, it says more about them than it does about you. Second, the best comeback is self-improvement, not revenge, not bitterness, not obsession, growth. Because success changes your life, while revenge only consumes it. Third, time reveals character. Eventually, everyone becomes a reflection of their choices. Good choices build opportunities. Bad choices create consequences. And life has a remarkable way of bringing those consequences full circle. Sometimes not immediately, sometimes years later, but eventually. Years after that interview, Emma rarely thought about the wedding anymore. It had become a chapter, not the entire story. The day that once represented humiliation had become the turning point that transformed her life. And Ryan? He finally learned the lesson he should have understood years earlier. Running from difficult decisions doesn't eliminate consequences. It only postpones them. Sometimes the people we lose become the reason we grow. Sometimes the doors that close are protecting us from the wrong future. And sometimes, the worst day of your life becomes the beginning of your greatest success. Because the story isn't over when your heart breaks. The story continues, and often, the next chapter is better than anything you planned. If this story moved you, hit the like button and subscribe for more powerful, life-changing stories every week. And tell us in the comments, if you were Emma, would you have hired Ryan? Yes or no? We read every comment. Also, watch the next story on your screen, right now, because it might be even more shocking than this one. Until next time, remember, your setback may actually be your setup for something greater.